As somebody who recently had his love for this game revitalized, I have been on a journey learning old archetypes, and today we're not going to be exactly learning an archetype for the first one. I have very, very little experience playing with the Tellarknight cards. I have always thought the cards were absolutely beautiful, and this one's going to be a little bit more of a brush up. There's probably going to be a lot of things that I'm personally not familiar with because I've been absent for the game for so long. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. We're going to start off with a Darktellarknight card, and I actually don't recall any Darktellarknight cards, okay? So all face-up monsters on the field become dark. You can detach one XYZ material from this card and discard one card. Special summon from your extra deck one light Tellarknight XYZ monster by using this face-up card you control as the XYZ material. Also, you cannot XYZ summon other monsters for the rest of this turn. This effect can be activated during either player's turn if you have 7 or more Tellarknight monsters with different names in your graveyard. So the fact that you can actually use this during either player's turn is very nice too. I don't know, and I would have to go through the other XYZ if there's any synchro monsters through with this archetype, like to see how helpful this would be. But honestly, just have a 2600 XYZ monster with just 2 level 4 Tellarknight monsters. I don't mind that at all. Let's continue on to a card that I am familiar with. And guys, look at the artwork on this card, man. I always thought the Tellarknight cards were beautiful, okay? If this card is summoned, you can target one Tellarknight monster from your graveyard, except this card, special summon that monster in defense position. Also, monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn, except Tellarknight monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, basically getting a free XYZ monster. This has been the story with the Tellarknight cards. Very easy, very good to get off the XYZ summons. Let's continue on to the next card over here. Again, beautiful, beautiful looking card. I cannot wait. Dude, I cannot wait to make a card art commentary on this archetype, okay? If this card is summoned, you can target one Tellarknight card in your graveyard, except this card. Send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, add that target to your hand. This one's just okay. The thing is, it helps when you have a spell or trap card that you want to target to, but it is helpful. Like, even just the last monster that we talked about, it's something that could be pretty useful, and I like the fact that it's just when it was summoned instead of just normal summoned or special summoned. Let's continue on to the next Tellarknight over here. If this card is summoned, you can apply the effect below for the rest of the turn. You can only use effect of Stat Tellarknight Capella once per turn, but if it resolves, you can apply the effect multiple times. Okay, you can treat level 4 or lower Tellarknight monsters you control as level 5 when XYZ summoning using 3 or more XYZ materials. So that's definitely helpful. It gives you a different variety of cards that you can summon, and it's always been interesting to me how high defense these cards are. I don't imagine that being too helpful in modern Yu-Gi-Oh these days, but let's continue on to the next card. Again, look at that card, man. Looks so good. If this card's summoned, you can add one Tellarknight monster from your deck to your hand, except Sat Tellarknight Deneb. You can only use this effect once per turn, so just your main searcher card. It's like combining, but then again, I keep looking at these cards like they are from modern Yu-Gi-Oh because I have been vaguely familiar with them as I was exiting the game. Again, I've always thought the artwork on them were very, very nice. Okay, let's continue on to the next one. If this card is summoned, you can send one Tellarknight monster from your hand to the graveyard. If you do, draw one card. It could be, it's helpful. You can send a card, you can just get a +1. It depends what monster you send to the graveyard too. Sometimes you can get your card that you want in the graveyard and you get a +1 from it too. Let's continue on to the next Tellarknight. If this card is summoned, you can target one Tellarknight monster in the field. It gains 500 attack, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase. This is one that's not really all that helpful. Sometimes here and there, 500 attack can make a difference, and you can just summon it and use it itself. But I mean, unless you have like plans of XYZ summoning, I don't know. This is one card that I definitely wouldn't be using, okay? Let's continue on to Sirius. If this card is summoned, you can target 5 Tellarknight monsters from your graveyard, shuffle all 5 in the deck, and draw one card. So it's a free +1. You get a nice little recycle there. It's pretty helpful. It's pretty helpful. It's kind of like a not so great version of Pot of Avarice, depending on how much you really want those cards in the graveyard. Let's continue on. If this card is summoned, you can send one Tellarknight card from your deck to your graveyard, except this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Kind of like your cooler version of Armageddon Knight over here. Again, very, very fun card. Let's continue on to the next Tellarknight. If this card is summoned, you can special summon one Tellarknight monster from your hand, except Sat Tellarknight Vega. And yeah, that obviously you just want to, you don't want to keep summoning the same things over and over. You can only use this effect once per turn. Again, I like the fact that these cards have the effects of like, not only when this card's special summoned or not only when this card's normal summoned, it's when this card is summoned. So no matter what you do to get to the field, you can get basically a free XYZ, and a lot of them are 4 stars over here. We have our first Pendulum to take a look at over here, and I don't think I'm familiar with the Pendulum monsters. So the Pendulum effect is you cannot Pendulum summon monsters except Tellarknight cards and Zephyr monsters This effect cannot be negated. I do not remember any Zephyr cards, so maybe we're definitely going to be seeing those for the first time. Not sure. If this card is normal flip or pendulum summon, you can target one other Tellarknight or Zephyr card in your monster zone or pendulum zone, and one face-up card your opponent controls and destroy them. I can see that being helpful here and there. This card honestly seems okay. It depends on what else we could use for the Zephyr cards and what else we can use for the Tellarknight cards, but the effect, it's okay. It's okay. It can come in handy here and there, it seems, okay? Let's continue on to our next XYZ monster. So 3+, level 5 light monsters. During your main phase 2, you can also XYZ summon this card by using a Tellarknight XYZ monster you control as a material, except Diamond, of course. Transfer the materials of this card. When this card is a material, neither players can send cards from the deck to the graveyard, and any card that returns from the graveyard to the hand is banished instead. When an opponent's Dark Monster's effect is activated, this is a quick effect, you can detach one material from this card and negate the activation if you do destroy it. Okay, I see where this is going, because you can use it in combination with the other card that makes all monsters dark. I can't help but look at these cards and admire the artwork. Dude, it is, I will go as far to say this is one of the most beautiful archetypes that have been ever made in Yu-Gi-Oh history. Honestly, but of course, neither player being able to send cards from the deck to the graveyard or bringing cards from the graveyard to the hand is also very helpful. It's a nice beat sticking EBUs in combination with another XYZ card. This definitely shines, and excuse me if you can hear my notification, this definitely shines when you get the XYZ monsters out, okay? Let's continue on. During the turn that you XYZ summon this card, you cannot special summon monsters except Tellarknight monsters. If this card is XYZ summoned, return all other cards in the field to the hand. Once per turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. If this card with an XYZ material sent to the graveyard, you can target one Tellarknight monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Beautiful card, incredible. I don't care that it takes 3 materials. This is something that I would definitely be regularly going for. Plus, from the other cards that we took a look at, you could probably overlay them on top of this card, but I'd have to look at the specifications on that again. Let's continue on to another Pendulum monster over here, okay? The Pendulum effect. You cannot Pendulum summons. Oh, okay, so it's the same thing. Interesting. So, I wonder, I don't know if we're going to get into other Pendulum cards, but I never really... It's not helpful, it doesn't seem. If this card is normal flip or pendulum summoned, you can target one other Tellarknight or Zephyr card in your monster zone or pendulum sum and set one card your opponent controls, destroy them. You can only use this effect once per turn. I feel like both of these effects, like, they're definitely similar, right? Because the other one was a face-up card, this one was a set card. I don't see the beauty in using these, to be honest with you, other than just the fact getting 2 monsters in your pendulum zones and then getting the pendulum summon. Am I wrong? Maybe there's a bigger picture here that I'm not seeing, but I don't find the 2 pendulum cards very useful, okay? Let's continue on. This card is always treated as a Constellar card. If this card is summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of light and dark XYZ monsters you control, destroy them. If a Tellarknight or Constellar monster or monsters is special summoned to the field except this card, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of this turn except with XYZ monsters. This is one of those cards that is very helpful, especially that you get to pop a bunch of cards right when it gets summoned. It's definitely, like, what am I supposed to say? It's definitely useful with your XYZ material monsters. But it is a pretty good card in general. Let's continue on to another XYZ over here, okay? So it's a Tellarknight Constellar card. I don't remember these two really working together all that much. Again, I've had very, very limited play with the Tellarknight cards, okay? If this card is XYZ summoned, you can target one Tellarknight card and or one Constellar card in your graveyard, add them to your hand. You can banish one Tellarknight or one Constellar monster from your hand or deck, and detach one material from this card. This effect becomes the Banish Monster's effect that activates when it's normal summoned. Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This card I definitely didn't know about. I wonder, and I'm not too familiar with the Constellar cards too, I wonder how good they would be. And it's very interesting if you ever were to get into a hybrid deck, like kind of like this, where you take 2 different archetypes, bring them together with some XYZ and material monsters. I think that'd be pretty cool, man. I like what they did over here. Okay, let's continue on to another Tellarknight card. This card is always treated as a Constellar card. So there's more cards that are getting brought into the archetype, okay? If a Tellarknight or Constellar monster is normal summoned to your field, except this card, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is summoned, you can add one Tellarknight spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So it's helpful. It special summons itself. It's a nice search, and depending on how good the spell cards are, this is probably going to be a very helpful card. Oh, so we have a continuous spell now over here. Constellar Tellarknights. I'm not familiar with these cards, man. I'm definitely muting Snapchat over there. Sorry if that's coming through my microphone, guys. I keep thinking like, oh, it's just one snap, and then it doesn't stop. When this card is activated, you can special summon one Tellarknight or Constellar monster from your hand or graveyard. You can target one Tellarknight or one Constellar XYZ material you control, special summon from your extra deck one of those monsters with a different rank by using the XYZ monster you control as a material. It's treated as an XYZ summon, transfer the materials. You can only use these once per turn. This is an excellent card. You can basically just get any XYZ monster that you want. That's incredible. But that's even just like the last effect of it. That's a very, very, very good card, okay? Let's continue on to a field spell. Tellarknight. Alright? Each Tellarknight XYZ monster gains 200 attack and defense for each XYZ material attached to it. When a Tellarknight XYZ monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can send one Tellarknight card from your hand to the graveyard, negate the attack. It's one of those things that's useful to have on the field. It's nothing crazy, but the 200 attack makes a difference every once in a while, because you might find yourself getting like a 600 attack boost, 400 attack boost. It's one of those things that like I said, it can't hurt to have present out of the field. And every once in a while, it would be helpful depending on the cards in your hand, right? I think it's good to have, okay? Let's continue on over to Skybridge. Beautiful. Target one Tellarknight monster you control. Special summon one Tellarknight monster with a different name from your deck. And if you do, shuffle the targeted monster into the deck. While the monster special summoned by this effect is face up on the field, you cannot special summon monsters except Tellarknight monsters. You can only activate this once per turn. So, the thing is, it's a quick play. And I was about to say that this card is, like, just okay. It's probably not that helpful unless you're looking for something, like, very, very specific. But I can see this saving the day in some cases, right? If there's a spell or trap that's activated, if you need the effect of something that could get another monster from a graveyard or something like that, and then trigger that effect, I feel like this one is going to be sneaky, sneaky, sneaky helpful in the archetype. Let's continue on to the next card. Oh, hang on. Oh, okay, the other one was a field spell. I was mixing up. Never mind. I was mixing it up. This is an equip card, okay? Equip only to a Tellarknight monster you control. It gains 500 attack and defense. Also, it is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. If you control a face-up monster that is not a Tellarknight monster, destroy this card. Okay. So that really restricts what you want to do, but I would include this in my deck anyways. The 500 attack and defense are always nice. It can really matter, but I really love the unaffected by opponent's card effects in general. Spells, traps, monsters, doesn't matter. You can just straight up equip this to one of your boss monsters. I don't mind that at all. It's just a flat out good card, I would say. We also have a counter trap, okay? Stellar Nova Alpha. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, send one face-up Tellarknight monster you control to the graveyard to get the activation, and if you do, destroy that card, then draw one card. Excellent card. I'm a big fan of spell speed 3s. It's reminding me of like, it's kind of like Dark Bribe, but better. I don't mind that at all. Just get rid of a monster, and the Tellarknights are so good at just getting other monsters back that you don't want anymore. Very, very good card. Even if something's activated that's targeting that monster, who knows? Very good card, okay? We have a continuous trap. I like that we have, like, a little bit of everything with this archetype. We have a equip spell, field spell, counter trap, continuous trap. Once per turn during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, you can special summon one monster from your hand. Very good card. Very good card, because when all of these cards are summoned, I'm realizing that we're missing one of the cards. There's a Tellarknight that's just summoned, and then you can, like, deal 1,000 damage to your opponent. I'm getting all of these from the Yugioh fandom.com because I want to get an authentic reaction to all these. So apologies if there's something that I'm missing. I remember one Tellarknight there. We also have another quick play spell, Tellarknight Genesis. Destroy spell or trap cards in the field equal to the number of Tellarknight cards you control. Very good. Very good. Love the fact that it's a quick play too. There's like no regular spell cards out there. This archetype is one of the most beautiful archetypes I have ever seen. But if you want to talk a little bit about beautiful cards, we recently did a card art commentary video on the advanced Crystal Beast cards. We admire their artwork in this video, and I would love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.